With Starfield being out for over 4 months now, and the recent controversies that have hit the game in November and December, being that it is pretty much a lot of copy and paste when it comes to the temple elements, the dungeon elements, and very repetitive gameplay style, which is very much unlike Bethesda's titles. With the game being the first new Bethesda universe in 25 years, people were expecting a lot more. There's been a lot of controversies around negative reviews, with the game sitting at mostly negative on Steam, which is the worst rated Bethesda title ever, sitting at just 28 of the 7,500 reviews over the last 30 days being positive. So there's 7,337 reviews over the 30 days, and 28% of those are the positive ones, which is absolutely insane. Is there a bigger reason behind it? Who knows, but definitely something that is not going to help is the cookie cutter responses from developers. Now, we have gone over this in a previous video, so if you do want to check that out, it'll be in the top right corner now. But with the recent list from Starfield announcing so much for 2024, can they pull it back? Many players and some of the modding community do not think so, with many of the modding community deciding that Starfield is not going to live up to the expectations and the hype of many players. A lot of them are deciding not to continue the mod work on the game, which is a massive shame, because Bethesda's titles have lived on through years and years, mainly through the mods. A previous video we did on the channel covering the Fallout 4 London mod, which is going to be absolutely insane and throw the game into a whole new level, which is going to be brilliant, and I'm very excited for that mod. It's a game within itself. But are there anything like that for Starfield? So far, there's no ideas or plans of anything like that, and obviously Fallout 4 was released over 8 years ago, so it's understandable that some very big mods will be coming out now and over the past few years. But as I mentioned, Starfield has only been out for 4 months, and whilst there are some relatively impressive mods that are out there, such as building yourself an entire star station, some of them that greatly enhance the depth of the game when it comes to the traversal aspects, it doesn't seem like there's going to be anything massive yet. There are no news on whether there's going to be any big projects or whether anybody has any ideas for any big projects. But with the Shattered Space DLC coming along relatively soon, this could bring in a new wave of modders if that Shattered Space DLC and the first quarter of 2024 work out well for the game. During the first quarter of 2024, the team are hoping to roll out 6-week updates. So every 6 weeks we should see a major update with some bug fixes, new content added, and loads more. Alongside the Shattered Space DLC, which will include a whole new storyline and loads of new items, legendary weapons and clothing, which is great. That will definitely bring a lot of players back just to test out that DLC. But is it enough to give the game the longevity that previous Bethesda titles have had, such as Skyrim, which is over 10 years old and people are still playing that to this date? And something like Fallout 4, which once again is almost 8 years old, but people still play that now. And some of those games have higher player counts than Starfield does, just 4 months after that release. So the main question is, will Starfield be improved in 2024, and will it have that rejuvenation that it so desperately needs? It seems like Starfield is going on that downward trend. Will we come out of these mostly negative reviews, or these mixed reviews now, which is just 64% of the positive? With those mixed reviews, there's only 64% of the 88,000 being positive. So this is still, even when you take out those mostly negative from recent reviews, one of the worst rated Bethesda titles ever. Even Fallout 76 only sat at around 70%, but the team quickly pulled together as much as they could and improved the game massively between the launch and the first 6 months and first year, which is great, and hopefully we can do something along those lines with Starfield. If they can pull it out the bag and make this a better game with much more substance to it, because it does feel like a very dead game when it comes down to it and you've done all of that nitty-gritty stuff. I myself absolutely love it, and I'm extremely happy doing quests, building outposts and building ships. But there are a lot of people that aren't satisfied with just doing those things. They want a hell of a lot more. When it comes to exploration, Starfield is definitely lacking massively. There is not enough exploration there for people that want to go out and do the exploring side of things. There's not too much to do. And with those cookie-cutter responses, such as astronauts weren't bored when they landed on the moon, it seems like a lot of players have grown a little bit of resent towards the team, or at least the people that are responding to the bad reviews and the negative feedback, which is completely understandable. Yes, Starfield is many people's hard work over many years, but also there are people that have sunk a lot of their money into the game. I myself bought the Constellation edition, which I don't regret because I've enjoyed the game, and obviously I've been making content for it, which has kept me entertained for even longer than just in-game time. But there are many people that were expecting a Fallout/Skyrim in space, with that deep level of exploration, but it doesn't have that, which I think is the game's main downfall. If we had various areas that we could explore that were all completely different and very unique, I think the game would have done so much better. But without those areas, there's not really too much to do once you've done that main storyline, and there's not really a need to go and explore, unless you're just after the achievements. Which, yes, people will go just for the achievements, and there are a lot of players that do that, that love the achievement hunting aspect of any game, not just Starfield or Bethesda titles. But those people are not enough to prop up a game for the next 5 to 10 years, as Todd Howard said that's what they're planning to do with Starfield. If they are planning to do 5 to 10 years on Starfield, is going to need some massive changes, and it's going to need them really quickly before the users completely drop off and the game just becomes something that people only come back to every now and then when either there's a big mod or a big DLC. But even still, with the Creations Hub, that could bring in a hell of a lot more players, because that enables you to play mods a hell of a lot easier without going through files and doing all the strange installing stuff. So I get that. I'm the same when it comes to mods. I don't really mess around with them through any other ways, unless there's a third-party app or site that I can download the mod onto that and just play the game. But if it involves going into the files, I don't trust myself enough to do that. So, understandable that a lot of people aren't getting that deep into the actual mod experience. But there are tons and tons of great mods that do enrich the gameplay and make things better. The only question is, as I say, will that become more prevalent? Will there be a lot more of those mods? Or will that just be it? What do you think? Let me know what you think down below about Starfield and what you think they should do in 2024. I'm excited to see how things progress. Hopefully the game doesn't end up dead in the water through mid-2024 and the end of... Hopefully the game doesn't die a slow death and start to wither off in 2024. I was hoping we'd see a hell of a lot more content between the launch and now, but there's not really been any substantial updates. There's been relatively small bug fixes which have been quite disappointing and don't really get to many of the major bugs that are still out there. Hopefully though, they've got some big ones in the works for the first quarter of 2024. Once again, let me know what you think down in the comments below. For now though, I've been Cowboy, you guys have been awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.